Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Jesus and Coffee Conversations. Today, I have another special guest joining us. This is one of our good friends, Miss Nakia Riley. So, Nakia, I'm going to pass it over to you. And guys, this video, she's just going to be talking about how you go from single and dating by your husband. So, I'm going to pass it over to you.
All right. Well, it actually came very unexpectedly. It was right when I almost kind of felt like I was giving up hope, and I was kind of getting content with the fact that maybe I was just going to be by myself for a little while. And then, I had had years of praying and just asking God, being very specific about the things that I really wanted. And all of a sudden it just kind of happened. I feel like I'm a kind of person who I don't do much. I don't have a lot of activity. So I was kind of like, how am I going to meet someone? How am I going to meet someone when all I do is kind of go from work to home, work from home. But the good thing about it is God definitely has a plan. And whether it's in one of those places or just happening to just be in passing, he's going to put you on the road to meet the person that he has for you.
Yeah, and that is so true. Like, I know for me, I'm the same way. Like, I don't really do a lot. So I go, from work to home, out like that. A lot of people say, it happens unexpectedly. So you and you all meet. And I know the story, but the people listening.
Well, right. Okay. So I am on the Hilldale interview leadership team. We always interview for the whole job fair for the whole district. And so he was an employee of Durham Public Schools, and we were having a job fair, and he was one of the candidates who came in to sit down to interview for the position. And right then it was kind of like, it was very, professional, and we were interviewing, and all of us after the interview just felt like, wow, like he was a really, really great candidate. Like we should really have him on our team. He was very motivating. He came in and he was very energetic. And if you know him, then that's just kind of how he is. And so we just all felt on the team like, oh yeah, we should have him, to join us on the team. And it was it was me and maybe 3 other teachers, and then it was, our principal and our assistant principal at the time. And out of everybody on the team, I got an email from him saying that he was happy that I was on the team to interview. And I thought that was really weird because at the time, he didn't remember, anyone else besides me and the principal. Of course, the principal to email.
Okay. So your first
so that's how we met.
What was your I know you said it was like a professional setting, but like when you saw him, what was your first impression?
I wasn't thinking on I like this guy type of thing. I was more so just in a professional mindset, like I think it would be good for the team. But I will say that, once he did get on the team, I still felt like, what, he's a little quirky. I didn't think at first that he was the one for me. I didn't think that he was the one. I think that I had in my mind, what he should be and all these things, and you know what I was used to, how I was used to dating and that type of thing. And you know, I think that we have to get out of our heads with that, you know, because that's
Yeah.
not always how we're going to find him, how God brings him, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah, and that's what I've said like in previous videos. Like we have like this idea of like the perfect man and all of that, but God is like, I might not send him, you know, 6'5" or you know, all of that. So you really have to
Yeah.
mind it with it and not, you know, put God in a box, because you don't want to miss out on the love of your life just because it's packaged differently.
Can I say something about that? Like, you could not be more right about that statement, because I think that I was so used to dating, oh, tall, dark, handsome, you know, but tall, dark, and handsome didn't work out, you know.
Yeah.
But my guy, who's perfect for me, worked out in the best way that it could have worked out ever.
Yeah. So ladies, get out your own head and really be open-minded when it comes to dating. So when did you realize that he was the right man for you?
When I started really being open to just letting him kind of come in my life and at least just be a friend in my life at first, you know, just hanging out with him, you know, seeing cool places that he would take me to. But not only that, it was just the conversations that I just knew that he was a man of God, and you know, he was going in the right direction, and he knew what he wanted, you know, from the very beginning. Like, it wasn't any game plan. Like, he was very confident and was able to say right away, hey, I'm looking to be married. I want kids. I want a future. You know, because to me, if someone isn't saying that, you know, you might be wanting to move on, you know, depending on,
Yeah.
you know, how long someone, they don't want that. So I think that him knowing right away, I want these things, and I knew I want these things too. I think that kind of concealed it. And then he was just, you know, he's been so consistent in who he is, you know, over the time that we've been together, he's been very consistent.
Yeah, and consistency is really big. You know, I've dated guys like is not consistent, or either they're consistent with being inconsistent. So it's good, you know, when you finally meet someone that you're like, I know what I want you. Like, are we gonna do this or what? So that's very. So I know you said that he's a godly man, and like I know him, you know, personally, and I know that's true. Like, how big of a role in your decision to say, okay, you know, let's, you know, have the friendship, then get into like the dating period, and now
Huge.
Yeah.
That was huge. You know, that was really huge, because I've been looking for someone who I can go to church with, and you know, I can share the word with, and you know, I can be free to worship how I want to worship. So, you know, that was really important, that he be that type of person. Now, I didn't know that when I met him that, you know, that's his whole existence. Like, that's his whole being. Like, I mean, he's a church goer. He is a child of a pastor, apostle. He, you know, his whole family is involved in church. So, you know, I don't think I knew the degree of how much he was involved, which is even better, that he's even more involved. You know, he plays the drums at the church, so he's there. You know, he has to be there every Sunday. So, you know, I feel like sometimes he's even more encouraging to me, you know, to get up, go to church, you know, before the COVID was going on. But, you know, now he still plays the church, you know, plays for the church, and it'd be like an online service or whatever, but I don't go, just for respect of the government laws. But before then, I've been so involved like with church because of, his impact with church.
Yeah. And that's good too. Because a lot of people say, a lot of women are like, well, I want a godly man and, all of that, but they kind of date opposite of that instead of, really focusing on, okay, is he, involved in the church? And it's not saying like the person has to be perfect, or anything like that, but they have the fruits of, going to church, getting involved and all of that.
Yeah, and I wanna add to that just by saying that, actually before I met my soon to be husband, I actually dated someone, and I learned along the way quickly that they didn't have the same the same biblical feelings that I had about God and spirituality and that type of thing. And, you can't compromise it. You really can't. You can't compromise someone who's not going to be, with you in the Lord that way, because then you become unequally yoked, and, you just know that it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't force it either. This relationship, like, did it challenge you or change you, make you grow in any way? And if so, how?
Yes, all of those things challenged me, and the fact that I've been dating people who are long distance, and so this is new because he was right here. It challenged me, to be more patient, and it challenged me to give up some of my independence a little bit, kind of lean toward, wanting to be with him and wanting to follow a godly man. It changed me because it just changed me for the better. Like, it's hard to be with someone who is so focused on God and is very committed and compassionate to you that it can't leave you the same. It makes you a better in the process. And so, yeah, and then I'm growing. I'm still growing. I'm growing with him. And, we're learning, from each other, what things we like, what we don't like, what pushes our buttons. So we're growing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true about relationships. Like, they definitely, make you grow and kind of like get outside of, as a woman, like outside of your independence, a little bit. Because society, it's like you got to be independent and don't depend on a man and, all of that. But it's different when it's like a godly relationship and you're trying to, do it by what the word says.
Right. And, when you're in that type of godly relationship with the man, you're gonna want to submit. I know that is such a very tough word, submit. And it's tough because you don't want to submit to stupid leadership. You want someone who's going to lead you in the right way. And so that's why it's so important to find someone who God is leading. So then that the person that God is leading is now leading you. And so you feel like you can submit to that type of leadership because you know that it's godly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm actually going to do a video about submission because I talk about it, like on my Instagram. And a lot of women have a really hard time with that word because I think they hear it and they're thinking, okay, I got to be a doormat. Like, that means I got to do everything he says. And, it's not like that. It's, submit so that, God can lead because it's, God, the man, and then you, So That's very important to be able to do.
Yeah, I think a better way, and I got this from my marriage counseling that I'm going through. And I have a bishop who is counseling, and he really made us look at it this way, which I think is a better way to look at it. And instead of it being like the ruler of the household or, you know, the one in charge, it's the priest of the household. That's what the man is. He's the priest of the household. He's not just the ruler. He's the looker over, you know, he's the priest of the household.
Yeah, yeah. And that, you know, true too. That's a better way to look at it. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't take the time to see it that way. So what's the most exciting thing about becoming a wife? You know, I think we have like our expectations and all of that, but like, what are you most excited
about? Just walking with someone else in life, you know, having someone to depend on and walk with, looking down the road, you know, being able to be good parents and that type of thing. But mostly I'm just looking forward to starting my life with the person that I feel like God had intended for me. And I'm just ready to see the difference, you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you're single, you know, and I know because I'm just becoming engaged in that type of thing. But sometimes when you're single, you know, we're not living all the way right sometimes. Like sometimes there's fornication, sometimes, you know, so I am, and, you know, I'm not casting blame, no way. But I feel like, you know, when you get married, you know, that is one thing that, you know, God has intended, you know, for married couples is to be, you know, with each other in that type of way. So I'm happy that, you know, I'm able to do it God's way.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. I'm you know, and I'm just ready to start life, you know, start marriage and start it the way that God wants to do it.
Yeah. What's the scariest thing? Yeah, definitely. So what's the scariest thing?
I guessing that maybe I might not be the perfect wife, but you know who is. You take one day at a time, and like I said, you get to know your other half, and you get to see what they like and what they don't like. You just try, you know, to be happy and to coexist in your household. You know, not just to coexist, but you know, to really be happy, like to be happy, like to get along, to communicate, to have, you know, conversations, and you know, that type of thing is really important.
Yeah, that is definitely really important. What advice do you have for women single, they're waiting, they're dating? I'll start with that first, and then I'll get into like if they're in a relationship. But if they're single, maybe dating, or single and waiting, like what advice would you give them?
If I could do it all over again, I would be having the time of my life. I would be traveling, even if it meant traveling by myself. I would be going to different countries. I mean, because you never know when you get, you know, into a marriage, you know, what type of limitations you may have. But right now, you are free. You are free to enjoy yourself, get out there, travel, enjoy the world, you know. That's what I would be doing, you know?
Yeah. And I'm so glad you said that, because I did a video, I think this is like last year, but things that you should be doing like while you're single. And I definitely was like, you need to travel, because when you get married, you know, they might not know where you want to go, or maybe, you know, financially you won't be able to do it. So it's definitely like while you're single, do what you want to do, because, you know, when somebody else is in the picture, you know, may or may not be able to. So that is definitely something, you know, those of you watching, do it. Travel, you know, do what you want to do. So
Right.
they're in a relationship or they might be engaged. How would you tell them like to know that that is the person that they should be with, like, or like to make sure, you know, that is right for you? Like, even if you are engaged, a lot of times, you know, they might have doubt about it or they're not sure or, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, number one, like, there needs to be happiness, you know, it needs to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect, but it definitely needs to be a lot more happier than it is bad or sad times, number one. And, you know, number two, you have to weigh your degree of worry or doubt about somebody, because that kind of makes me feel like you could internalize, you know, there is something wrong with him, you know, red flags that you may be missing. So what I'm saying is, you know, don't be naive to those type of things either. You know, if you feel like I'm worried about him, I'm doubtful about him, why? You know, dig deeper. Why are you fearful? Why are you doubtful? Is he not the person that you want for him? You should make a list, write these things down. What do you really want in a man? And then check him off. Is he doing this? Is he that? Does he help me? Is he present? That's the biggest thing in a relationship, is just being present, being there. It's not about all the finances all the time. It's not about, you know, all those things, but just someone being there, you know, being there and being compassionate, you know, just being knowledgeable about the things that you have going on in your life. Like, is this person doing that for you? Is this person, or is this person dragging you? You know, is this person, you know, making you feel like, God, Lee, I can't breathe, I can't move, I can't do, you know, that's not what marriage is about. Marriage is about, you know, you're adding to someone else's life. So you have to be honest about if someone is taking away, you know, from your life in any type of area of your life, whether it be spiritual, are they taking away? Are they making you feel like you can't worship? Is it financial? Can they not, you know, hold their own weight? Are they pulling you down in the process? You know, are they not present? Are you the one dealing with all the children and all the tasks in the household? So you just have to be honest. Like, someone who is right for you loves God, and someone who's right for you, you know, has good relationships, you know, with other people. You know, someone who's right for you is someone who is making a plan that involves you in it. And as far as like you going forward with him, I'm taking you this place, I want to get this, you know, those are things that if someone is really sincere and interested in being with you, they're already talking about. If they have children, they're already thinking about, you know, you meeting their children and how that interaction is going to happen and take place. Like, don't go for, you know, someone who's not being honest, or, you know, who's not being forthcoming, because that might just be them running around.
Yeah, exactly. Honesty, I think, is everything. Like, even like they tell you things that really you don't even need to know, but they're so honest and they don't want you to, you know, be blindsided by anything. So they're just, you know, they put it all out there on the table, and they kind of gives you, you know, the choice of, okay, do I want to deal with that or do I not want to deal with that? But yeah, definitely,
Yes.
you know, compliments you. A lot of people say, you know, like they complete me, but really it's like they compliment you. So like whatever you're already doing, they kind of, you know, add to that. And then vice versa, like whatever they're doing, you're adding, you know, to them as well. So that was great advice. Like all of that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like when you say compliment you, because I feel like one thing that as men, as people, Like, we need to come into the relationship being complete, like as complete as we can be in ourselves. Like, we should not be coming to the relationship to be completed by anybody. Like, God is the only person who can kind of fill that hole and complete. So, you know, I feel like if you're going into a relationship thinking that, you know, someone else is going to complete you instead of compliment you, I think that you're setting yourself up for failure, because, you know, you have to, there's a wholeness in yourself that you need to have before you even get into a relationship with someone else. You need to already be loving yourself. You need to be having respect for yourself. You know, you have to have these things before you can love someone else and respect someone else. So, compliment, I like that.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this interview for us. Like, it was really helpful. And it, you know, it gives, I think, women watching and, you know, like some really good tips and advice for, you know, how to find the one, or, you know, get their the relationship that God has for them. So thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you.
Everybody else, thank you for watching and joining in. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see you all later. Bye.